Hello everyone, welcome to Air at Military Collectibles. Sorry about the delay, for some reason it took me a while to log in tonight, but we're here. So I hope you're all keeping well. We're going to give it a few minutes as always for people to start streaming in and trickling in. Just checking there, the message has gone out, so people should start arriving in soon. If not, who cares? We'll just chat for a while anyway. Oh, Steel Helmet Stan is here. Hello darling, how are you? Darren is here. Hello Darren, how are you keeping? So I hope you're all keeping well, guys. Sorry, I haven't had much videos up at the minute. It's just been very, very busy here. Hello, Kenny. How are you? How are you doing, Kenny? I haven't had many videos up at the minute because I just haven't had time to do anything. I need to finish editing the show that I was at the weekend. So hopefully that'll be up sometime this weekend. It's just been hectic. It was a good show, interesting show. Nice to be at one in Ireland. My first one since before COVID, anyway. Not going to be too critical about it. It is what it is. It was what it was. It was nice. There was some good groups there. There was some good groups, some bad groups, some just thrown together stuff. I went there on the Sunday, and I believe an awful lot of groups had left already at that stage. So I got there around lunchtime on the Sunday. But we'll try and get to the next one on the Friday or the Saturday, the first days. The other one is hello from the tarmac of Malta Airport, been delayed for 3 friggin' hours. Haha, sucks to be you, Jake. Oh no, in fairness though, I hope you get sorted. And I hope you get yourself home soon. There is another show coming up in the Cavan County Museum at the end of this month. So, excuse me. Hopefully, I'll try and make it there. I know they have a big, huge trench system there, so that'll be interesting. They have a First World War trench system. I can't actually. It's been so long since I've been there. I can't actually remember what their military displays are. I know they have some, but to ask me what they are, I don't know. But I know they have some. The seeming phenomenon of doing short videos keeps surprising me. 2.8k videos on my SMLE bayonet in 10 seconds long. Oh, might try some of them. I don't have any, I never do the shorts. I'm going to try to do some of the shorts. Bloody French causing all flights to divert around their airspace. Or they're on strike. That happens a lot with the Spanish airspace for some reason, or the French airspace. So it's a bit of a bummer. I'm waiting for Jude to come in. Actually, I don't know if he's here yet. Jude brought up an interesting topic. I met Jude on Sunday at the IMV, Irish Military Vehicles show in Naas Racecourse. Jude's group, or Jude's little thing that he does, is called Hands on History. And he had a firearms display. There'll be a video of his stuff coming up on my video of the show anyway. But he brought up a very good point, and it's for both reenactors, collectors, and stuff like that. Of the most of, because something happened to him at the weekend that was a bit, shall we say, obnoxious. So we're going to put the question out there. We're going to talk about it and see what stories are there of stuff that have happened to you on shows or in collecting, where people have come around and seen your collection. The most obnoxious things that people have said or done. Military Collectibles, historic memorabilia. New name, new title, very snazzy. Hello, CJ. How are you keeping? Hope you're keeping well. I've had a few things happen to me. Obviously, being where I am, from doing what I'm doing, back in the day, we used to do an awful lot of War of Independence stuff. Um, so some of us would be dressed as IRA, some of us would be dressed as RUC, some of us would be dressed as Black and Tans, and some of us just like playing the villain and playing the bad guy. It's like being cops and robbers when you're a kid, I suppose. But I can remember literally being at a show one time, and it was me and two or three other guys dressed as Black and Tans. Um, if any of you don't know what Black and Tans are, look up Irish history. But the abuse, like they must have thought we were really Black and Tans or something. But the abuse we got was ridiculous. Like, why are you portraying them B words? And do you know what they did to Irish history and or the Irish people? And my great grandfather was shot by them. And yes, completely understand people's anger towards that specific group, but don't take it out on us. We're just there portraying a time in history that needs to be portrayed, and you do need to have the bad guys at events, things too as well, like such as the Germans, such as the Japanese, the Vietnamese, the Americans, the German. It depends what side you're portraying. Everybody has a bad side. Everybody has a bad guy. But yeah, I can remember that specifically that show. There was an old woman, and she just not could grasp the fact that we were reenactors or living historians. Like she thought we were reincarnated from the 1920s, and she just tirade of abuse we got was ridiculous of her. Stan, hello, Andrew. How are you doing? Um, I think the French are causing go slows due to those two teenagers being shot by their police. There's been riots because of it. Uh, I've seen a bit of it. I'm not going to try and I'm not getting involved with it. But like, if we could talk about stuff that's happening here in Ireland, basically you have the national broadcaster, and it seems like they have thrown away hundreds and hundreds and thousands of euros um, by overly paying journalists, declaring they were paying journalists something and paying them nearly three times the amount they were paying them. Uh, the chief financial officer not knowing any questions that have been asked to him. Apparently, he was asked his own salary. What was his salary that he made per year? And he wouldn't answer the question because he didn't know, he said. And who doesn't know how much you get paid a year? Even if you don't know how much you get paid per year, you know how much you get paid per hour. That you can work it out roughly somehow. Like, Steelhammer Stan, has anyone seen the YouTube channel Dropout or something like that? It's a guy is English, and he watches reenactment videos from the UK, and he just pulls everything apart. Geek Overload. No, I haven't seen him. No, I have not seen him. There are forums and there are websites and all this type of stuff. Chat groups and things. Farb, it's called. I don't even know what Farb stands for, but you hear in the thing going, that's very Farby, or that's Farb, or that this is Farb, or whatever. And it just means it's not right. Now you have two different angles towards a Farb. Personally, myself, I understand that not everything will be correct, because we're not in the time frame, obviously, that you're portraying. The knowledge mightn't be there of, we don't actually know, because we're still finding out stuff that going through history. Knowledge mightn't actually be there of a specific item or a specific kit. Like incorrect boots might be worn for whatever reason, comfort, whatever. There's lots of reasons why kit can't be correct. There might be a manufacturer of a specific item, so you have to make do with what you can get. I don't have an issue with that. I do not have an issue with somebody not being 100% correct, because not everybody can be, like, you can't be in the time frame. You can't be in World War II, so therefore you are not 100% correct. So I would not be so critical of things like that. What I would be critical of is when you give somebody advice and say, look, this isn't quite correct, but here's a supplier, or here's somebody, or here is the correct item that you need to have to portray that specific thing. Um, and they just don't listen, or they just keep doing the same crap, and it progressively, like, they started at this base level, and rather than going this way, they go this way. That's what bothers me. It's just when people just don't listen. Um, Military bearing as well drives me mental. And that's just been a veteran, I suppose. Like, if when you're at a show and you've guys that are portraying that they're on stag or they're on sentry duty or whatever, they're not smoking cigarettes. They're not there with the cap in the back of their head. They're not looking like a dog's dinner. If you want, like, when you're portraying what you're supposed to be doing, you're a professional soldier, or you're at least trained by professional soldiers. So you need to have that military bearing, that attitude that while I'm here for my 2 hours or my hour, when people are looking at me, I'm going to be right. When I'm back in my base camp or I'm back in my admin area, that's when I can switch off. That's when I take my flak jacket off, push the bray to the back of my head, and just chill out then. Um, they're the two things that bother me. Not so much than stuff not being 100% correct, but they're the things that bother me. One second, no, I missed a lot of questions, have I? No, I must try and find that, Stan. I must try and find that channel. Yeah, I thought as much. Oh, you're on about the strike. Stan is saying hello. Andrew, military collectibles, military collectibles, historic military. I agree with the video shorts. I've had 40,000 extra views than normal in 7 days, and 50 more subbies over the same period. You have. You should give it. You should have a go. I will. I definitely should. I definitely will give it a go. Um, what have we got here? Still don't understand. Would that be Miss Drip 44? His vids are. I must look him up. Farbfest. Is that what he's called? Farbfest. Um, that's him, CJ. Okay, so CJ has the right one. Mistrop. Mistrop 44. I must look him up. That's him, CJ. I've just gone through his history and found his name. I found him. Genius at best. I must give him a look now. I thought it was a myth until I actually happened. I thought it was a myth until it actually happened, and I was unicornly asked if there was fire, if that fire was real. Yeah, I've heard that one. I've heard that the most obnoxious things. I remember being at a show with Danny and the Living History UK lads last year. I think it was Aidan Croft. Now the show was over. People had left. Um, Danny has a World War II Jeep, SAS Jeep, original, 1943 or 42, 43 or 44, December. It came off the production line. Now, was it 42 or 43? But he has an original Jeep anyway. He's put a lot of money and a lot of effort into doing this Jeep. Like, he rebuilt it from scratch himself. And we were all mulling around, drinking tea, having a chat. Wasn't even that evening. It was probably about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. Still in kit. There was the odd straggler of people still around, but the site was closing down. Or people were leaving for the evening, and there was an awful lot of reenactors going around. And some reenactors, living historians, it's a bit of a booze fest when the people aren't around. Each to their own. If you want to have a drink, you have a drink. We're all responsible adults, no issue with that or whatever. And the way Aidencroft was, it was like it was a walkway. It's like a park, a green area park, trees and buildings and stuff like that. And it's like a folk park type thing. And So we were down this bottom corner, and people would walk by every now and again, and it was just nice with no public or whatever, as a reenactor or somebody that was there in the event, to just look at the other groups, and you could chat with them a bit better and things like that. And this one came, and she was dressed as a French 1940s lady or whatever, and she had there's a specific name on him. One of these black market guys from World War II going around with his little briefcase and his little tash and everything. But there is a specific name on them, and I can't remember what they're called. But few bevies in them, no hassle, no big issue. And she just turned she just turned around and sat into Denny's Jeep, or was going to sit into Denny's Jeep. And we're like, no, hang on, if sit in the Jeep or ask or whatever, like, don't sit in the Jeep, like, because it's being polite, being, like, whatever, like, you wouldn't walk into someone's house and just sit in the couch, like, unless you're buddies with them or unless you're friends with them or whatever. But she got a bit ratty. Oh, what's so special about this? And we're like, oh, it's a 1943 Willys Jeep that is 99.9% original, and we don't let anyone sit on it, or for insurance reasons, which is self-explanatory. You fall over the side of it or fall off the front of it or whatever, because you were being a prat, then he's responsible for it. So she got really, really ratty about it. That was another thing that happened, actually, another little irate little thing that happened. Sorry, there's a lot of questions flying in here. A lot of comments, I should say. Still haven't stand through. It looks right. It's okay. The general public won't know any difference. Not everyone got accurate. Exactly. That's it. Like, it's you just make do. Like stuff like, yeah. It was Dave, actually. I don't know if Dave is in tonight. He sent me a link yesterday, where we actually found a guy that sells the connectors for the Americans, or not the American, the German style batteries, the big blocks that you can't get anymore. Well, this guy's actually 3D printed an adapter that you could take, like, single AA batteries or double AA batteries or triple AA batteries in those, for those blocks, like. And is it Farby? Is it not correct? Yes, but we can't get those batteries. So it's, yeah, so, like, that's a prime example of stuff that is acceptable in my eyes that can be done. And it's not that nothing's acceptable. You're just same as, like, I have some reproductions in my collection. If people ask me about it, it's a reproduction, because I can't get original, or original is very expensive or whatever. I don't try and fob it off as an original. Like my M1 helmets, I do have one original M1 helmet from World War II, and I have one that I reconditioned to make look like a Marine one with a cover on it, stuff like that. One has the correct liner, the other doesn't have the correct liner. Yeah. What else have I that's reproduction? Obviously, my battle dress from my World War II SAS, that's reproduction. It's not original. Most original thing in uniform that I have for that would be my 49 pattern that was retailored into 37 pattern. I think it's 37 pattern. Spiv, there we go, Spiv. That, I knew there was a word. Thank you, Jake, and thank you, Andrew. Spiv, I knew there was a word for it. Yeah, and your one was dressed as a French lady of the night, really, if we were to be honest. Not a very good looking one, but sure, there we go. So has anyone else had, either at a show or been to a show as a punter, been representing at a show, or been reenacting at a show, and came across those really, really irate, ignorant people? Oh, I forgot. Look, Andrew, still going, still on. My Combat Casio. Andrew kindly gave me that at the last Living History UK Festival. Absolute bulletproof watches. I think we were actually talking about it either on our own little forum that we have for the group, or for on here, and we were going on about combat Casios, and does anyone remember this and remember that? And we were just chatting about whatever. The next thing, Andrew decided, I think he gave me one and Lyle one. He found somewhere that was selling them, and he was like, "I'll get them for the boys." And very, very nice little present, very nice little gift. And actually, speaking of gifts, Danny Reese, my buddy Danny Reese, Herefordshire Regimental Museum on YouTube, Herefordshire Lad on TikTok, kindly sent me as a so we have the light infantry cap badges. So we have other ranks, stay bright, red backing from 1777, American War of Independence for dress, cap and beret. So this is like their dress one for their everyday working dress, I suppose. Other ranks, then this one then is the other ranks, stay bright, bright field use, or blackened for Northern Ireland. So this one would have been for field use or everyday wear. And then they would have blackened it, painted it black with matte black for Northern Ireland. Classic watch it is. There are classic watches. Right, I'll speak to you guys later. I'm going to try and get some sleep and hopefully wake up and we have finally taken off. Best of luck, Jake. I hope so. Safe flight, mate. Yeah, exactly. Have a good one. Still understand. Not at a show, but my mannequin that done up like a World War II Swedish home guard is a mixture of post-war and World War II with a bit of post-war German to finish it off. I've had a few negative comments about it. Like it's in your shed. You can do what you want with it. It's not like you're going to a show. It's not like I'm bringing him to a show and dressing him as half RU Seaman, half British Army. Like, it is what it is. It's once you're happy with it, it's in your shed. Who cares? Cheers, guys. Even though I've explained it, just rough. Yeah, presentation. Who cares? It is a rough presentation. Like that. It's I've done it where I've put mannequins together, and I haven't had the correct items for them, the correct uniforms for them, or the correct bits for them. So I've put the nearest I could to them, whatever, be it an incorrect pouch, or be it an incorrect vest, or be it an incorrect jacket, until I can something that looks close enough, or something that's thereabouts, until I can get an original one, or until I can find a better one, or a reproduction, or whatever. So yeah, so I wouldn't worry about that. Sorry, and then we've officers anodized cap badge. So there's the 3 cap badges from the light infantry. I think Danny has family history with the light infantry. I'm not sure, was his dad in the light infantry, or did he have a grandfather in the light infantry, or something like that? But yeah, they're amalgamated now with the rifles, I believe. When they did an awful lot of the amalgamation, there was an awful lot of rifle regiments, light infantry regiments and stuff like that amalgamated into the rifles. So yeah, actually, I found a channel. I can't remember the name of the channel, but I found a channel, a few shows, something tradition. In the highest tradition, is it called? I think it's like 6 different episodes of it. I'm going to see if I can find it here. Yeah, in the highest tradition, it's called. I think it's like 6 different episodes of it. And it's about traditions in the British Army and pomp and ceremony and all that. Some of it's a bit, yes, lolly on, but it's interesting. It's interesting to watch, like, each regiment, whatever is in the British Army, 40 different regiments, give or take. They all have their own little tradition, their own traditions, and their own things that they do, shall we say? But yeah, it's a great watch. Even though I've explained, oh sorry, I've read that one. Oh, I've even had the why not join up instead of playing soldiers comments. Do cue my glass eye twitching and outburst from myself. Yeah, I've never had that comment. I've never had why did you join the army? Or why didn't you? Because personally, I don't care what they say, but um, I have had we playing soldiers or uh, fancy dress for the weekend or something like that. I've had those comments. But like I mean, this is the thing. Like, is to some people in the world, we are anoraks for collecting military and stuff. Um, People just don't get it why we do it. People just don't see the interest in it, and we're anoraks. Same as you have train spotters, guys that are into trains and stuff, and they're running around chasing trains like that young fella on YouTube that wears the GoPro backwards, and it's basically him laughing and getting really excited when the train gets past. That's his thing. That's his hobby. Um, People looking at planes, people into ships, people into stamps. Um, like everything has a collectible side of it. Like I'm sure there's people that collect car trailers, cars, classic cars. That's another one. Like there isn't a specific anorak, shall we say, for lots of different people. Um, yeah. Andrew Johnson. One would wonder why someone who would dare ask that question would even stand a military show in the first place. Ignorance at its best. Yeah, that is a strange question to ask at a military show or a reenactment. It is a strange one. Someone posted tonight that my recent MG42 short. I can understand the guns, but why the flags? Which left me thinking, what planet he's on. No replies to Militaria. Yeah, I must have a look at that. Like I can remember doing a video one time on what was it, a cat badge or a beret or a helmet or something, and I had it in focus if you get me, but there was something in the background. I can't remember what was in the background, but I got this comment like going, um, "Oh, you should have cleaned that thing in the back." And I was going, "What? I think it was a telly actually." That's why I normally have a board in front of the telly when I'm doing it. I can see look at the state of this place or something. I can't remember. There was some comment like that, and I'm like, "What are you on about?" They got storage boxes there. So what? That's the reflection you can see in the telly. And I have a mannequin here, and I have a mannequin. I have stuff hanging on the back of the door. So what? I've been accused of worse because I collect military as a militaria nutcase. Not very nice. Yeah. I don't know. Like people collect firearms. Right? Can be a bit dangerous because you have you could have somebody that could be a bit jaunty. People collect militaria. Like that's it. Like people just have this anorak, and if they don't understand it, it's that going back into the past that um, witchcraft type thing. I don't understand it, so it must be witchcraft. So therefore, it's bad, or there must be something wrong with you. It's that type of a system that I don't understand why you like collecting military stuff, or why would you collect German World War II stuff, or why would you collect British First World War stuff, or um, there must be something wrong with you. Like people, the likes of Auschwitz and Birkenau and these museums and these centres, these places that have horrible things happen to them. Are they wrong for keeping the artifacts and for trying to get other artifacts from the SS or from the camps and stuff like that? Are they wrong for doing that? Are they militarian nuts because they're doing that? Or are they right because they're trying to portray this history that should never happen again? People should learn and know what happened. Like, this is the grey area. This is the lift the carpet and brush all that unacceptable history under it, or lift the carpet and brush all that unacceptable history in it. Irish famine, like things that happened in the Troubles in Northern Ireland, Bloody Sunday, like so many things you could, like you have that nasty history, that incorrect history. So do we forget about it? Do we lift the carpet, brush it underneath it, and forget about it? Didn't happen. A bit like the Irish with the Irish War of Independence, or not the Irish War of Independence, the Irish Civil War. The Free State won. Free State won. Woohoo! So let's lift the carpet and brush all that stuff that we did to win the Civil War under the carpet. Do you understand what I mean? It does happen. Should it happen? I don't think so. Like the Irish Free State Army towards the IRA, the new IRA, or whatever they were called at the time, in the Irish Civil War, if you read anything about the Irish Civil War, they were vicious. I mean, there's a famous case in Limerick where they found a bomb. I think it was 2 or 3 Free State soldiers after being killed in an ambush earlier that day. They found a bomb or a landmine or something that was set for another patrol. They had IRA prisoners in their camp or in their barracks that they had captured at some point in time or whatever. They brought them there, told them defuse it or we're going to tie it to it and blow it up. They wouldn't defuse it, so they tied them to it and blew them up. Is it a war crime? Sounds like one to me, but then again, brushed under the carpet. Hi guys, hello Dave. How are you doing, David? Evening, Dave. Andrew. It was at Blight a few years ago, Stan. Was someone walking past with their dog and they were wondering what was going on. May you never go down a hat size. Stan, I don't want to train setup or a classic motorbike. I don't want to be an angler or a train spotter, but I understand the passion that those people have for their pastimes. Yeah, exactly. It is a passion. It is a passion. Some people don't get it. Some people, frankly, should pick up a hobby and get into something because they're just pains in the arses because they don't have anything to do. The Father Ted Father that gave Ted his collection is always a good gag. I'm on collection. I must look at that actually. I can't remember that one, but I must look up that one. I'm a train spotter too. Andrew, you anorak. David, I've got them. Moses fella. Military collectible still understand. I once knew someone who collected pencils and another who collected carrier bags. Sounds like my grandmother, Lord of Mercy. We all, I don't know if it's the same in England, but definitely in Ireland, you have that middle drawer in the kitchen that has fucking everything in it, but there's always plastic bags inside it. Where they come from, shopping plastic bags. We pay a tax here in Ireland on shopping plastic bags. It's like 20 cent or something like that if you want a plastic bag at the shops, but we still end up with the bloody things. And there's always that one drawer in the kitchen full of these bloody plastic bags. Yeah. I hear you're racist now, Father. Brilliant episode. The one where they tried to, the one where they tried to get out of the lingerie section of the big supermarket. That supermarket is actually not far from where I live. It's about 15-20 minutes away. That supermarket. His actual house where they did the filming of the outside of the house, the inside of the house was a set, but the outside of the house is actually not too far near from me as well. And then one of the islands, one of the Yarn Islands that's loosely based around Craggy Island, the actual shipwreck that you see at the starting credits, that's actually on it, which is just off the coast from here as well, which you can get to fairly handily enough from where I live. they have a Father Ted festival every year. I think they had, was it over 200 Father Teds this year at the festival or whatever. And it's funny because they have like things like they have competitions on throughout the week and things that happened in the show, like the Lovely Girl show. That goes on out there. To Guess the Way to Pat Connors. That's another one. The Eurovision, or the, what I can't remember what they called it, but the Eurovision Song Contest. That's out there. It's like karaoke type thing. They have all these different events that are very, very funny. If any of you ever get it, you should go to it. It's priceless. And I think you actually get free, if you're dressed as a priest or something like that, you get a free, you get a free meal, or you get something. There's some kick around it anyway. Andrew Johnson, don't mind a bit of airplane spotting. Plenty fly over. As you know, I get plenty of binos. Yeah, I live not far from an airport as well. Some of you know what I do for a living. And you regularly see people there with binoculars and photo and cameras taking pictures of planes over the fence. I collect dead incense and keep them in front of my car. Military collectibles, historic memorabilia. We've chumped down big time on selling and displaying World War II German military in New Zealand. They've clamped down big time on selling and displaying German World War II military in New Zealand. Yeah, you get completely right wing, left wing. One like you, I think it's just the way culture has gone. Seems to be no middle road. There seems to be no. Let's just do this, and we're going to have to piss off some people, but we're only pissing off the small little amount of people, and we're keeping the majority of the people happy. Whereas we've gone down the road now where it's let's keep the very, very small amount of people happy and piss off the majority. Um, that seems to be what's happening lately. Um, and like it's like I don't want to get too political about it, but like you have the LGBTQ movement, whatever they want to call themselves, fine, no problem, go do your thing. You have the feminist movement, fine, yeah, no problem, go do your thing over there, equal rights, everything like that. You have the Black Lives Matter crowd, fair enough, you have your opinion, go over there, whatever, but don't try and shove your opinions down my neck. Um, just because I don't believe or don't agree with, not that I don't believe, but not that I don't agree with a certain aspect of the culture you're portraying. Not saying I disagree with any of them, but then you're a Zionist, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're this, you're that, you're whatever. It's just like, can we not just all do our own things and everybody be happy with the world? Bloody hell, CJ, pencils okay, but carrier bags. Mind you, my old ones from the 80s might be worth a bob or two. Yeah, it's mad what you collect. Like I love watching the Antiques Roadshow and things like that, and you see just it can't be worth nothing. It's like, oh yeah, it's worth 14,000 euros or pounds or whatever they come. Bloody hell. True stand, miniature collectibles, historic memorabilia. Ironic in a roundabout way, we all collect dead men's things. That's true. So you have nothing from the Allied side then. I'm not sure what that question is directed at, Dave. My origins of state terror hide them all over the house. Still understand characters in that whack CJ there. Where did you read that? We are banning stuff. That are banning stuff. Freak pointing. Tunnel of Goats. My Lovely Horse was the song. Yes, My Lovely Horse was the song. Everyone is a priest. Still understand. I just randomly typed Nazi memorabilia into YouTube search, and it turned up lots of interesting videos about shops in Canada and Australia having German stuff removed due to complaints. I do know in Germany. Well, I do know in Germany it is illegal. I believe it is illegal um, to sell or display items with the swastika on. Um, so when you do see them being advertised uh, in Germany and stuff like that, you'll see them black out the swastika, either with a piece of paper or with something. That's the way they get around it. But yeah, there are laws. I know in Ireland, obviously there's the Irish Army law that you can't own the current issue item of the Irish Defence Forces at that particular moment in time. Um, that law is brought in for a specific reason, and that reason was due to the boys robbing stuff, banks, post offices dressed as soldiers. So that's why they brought in that law. Um, yeah, it's true. It's there. I'm still looking for authentic SS toilet paper. There's a Glad there that has 5 or 6 rolls of it. If you ever go to, oh god, there's an Australian dude, and he does like breakdown of big high end shows. Um, there's a guy there, he tears apart the whole time for having fakes and incorrect items, but he's always giving out a butcher man having like 5 or 6 rolls of SS loo roll sitting on the counter ready to be sold. If anyone needs a battery pack for old style bicycle lamps, see the side gig. Oh yeah, the side, yeah. I mentioned that earlier on actually, Dave. I was saying it to him about it. I saw that video, I couldn't believe it. Oh, the video about your man selling the authentic title roll. And there was other things he was selling as well. Was it shot glasses, Christmas decorations? I don't know. Okay, there was lots of stuff being sold. Speaking of collections, actually, I came across a website. They're an auction site in England. But they have a web channel or a YouTube channel, and they advertise stuff on the YouTube channel that's coming up in auctions. But what they actually sell is an awful lot of movie memorabilia, the likes of Star Wars, Star Trek, things like that. And I think, quite possibly, they may have sold an awful lot of the Band of Brothers. Sorry, not the yes, Band of Brothers, because that was filmed in England and around that area, whereas the Pacific was filmed, I think, in Hawaii. But there was a company as well selling Band of Brothers stuff. Or, sorry, selling Pacific stuff and Band of Brothers stuff. And actually, speaking of Pacific and Band of Brothers, their new one that they're making at the moment should be coming out soon about the Air Force in England over Europe. And I think they're going to do. Well, Tom Hanks has done one on the Navy called Greyhound, but I don't know if they'll do a series on the Navy. Maybe they'll pick a ship and do a series on the Navy. But it'll be interesting because then they'll have done. Obviously, they've done Easy Company. They've done the 1st Marine Division in the Pacific. Then now they'll have done the 8th Air Force. It'll be interesting to see what they do a Navy version of it. Cover all aspects of the conflict. But I completely went sideways. What was I talking about? I don't know. Can't remember. In France, the police patrol military fairs to make sure any swastikas are covered with a piece of tag. If they see one, they give the stallholder a warning. It's their style. It's kind and fine. Yeah, it's that. I understand why it's done that way, and I completely understand why it's done that way. It is what it is. Right, guys, I am going to cut it a bit early tonight because I'm actually feeling a bit tired and I'm getting a small bit of a headache from the light. I do suffer from migraines sometimes, so I'm going to cut it a bit short. So if any of you, I'll just give you a couple of minutes there. If any of you want to fire in your last little comment, your last little question, you're more than welcome. If not, I'll see you all same time, same channel, 8 o'clock next week. I will get stuff up over the weekend, guys. I promise I will get stuff over the weekend. I'll get that show done and I'll get some other bits and pieces done for you. So have fun. So there's no comments coming in, so I presume you're all happy with tonight's fun and festivities. So if that's the story, guys, have a good one. Have a safe night. Have a safe weekend, and I will see you all same time, same channel. Sorry, movie question. Anyone seen the 1976 film? I haven't anyway, Stan. I don't know. Not until next time. Always happy. Salt and Precinct 13. Right, guys, have a good one. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you all next week. Have a great, safe weekend, and same time, same channel next week.